Start off here with the quarterbacks. Starting out at number 5, we got Justin Herbert. Last year threw for 4,739 yards, 68.2% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns to a ratio of 10 interceptions. Justin Herbert is absolutely an upper echelon quarterback. A little bit of a statistical step back from last season, but I think, and we both know, especially Chargers fans, that's just Joe Lombardi holding this man back. And now that he doesn't have to deal with that anymore, we know the sky's the limit. Can easily see him passing for over 5,000 yards again this year. Saying easily in front of that sentence sounds kind of ridiculous, but Justin Herbert's a really talented guy. Want to see him get those touchdowns back up and just not see him limited by Joe Lombardi anymore, which I think is exactly what we're in tune for. At number 4, I got Trevor Lawrence. I can already see and hear the beef in the comment section between Jaguars fans and Chargers fans because I had heard about number 5. Chargers fans are saying to me right now, how could you have Trevor Lawrence ahead of him? Statistically, with the accolades, you're just saying to me right now, he's just not there yet. What I'm going to say to you guys, riding for Trevor Lawrence here, is look, both of them are incredibly talented quarterbacks. There's no debating that. But look, man, when the two of them came head to head, when it mattered most last year, we know Trevor Lawrence was the guy that delivered. Trevor Lawrence just had a lot of game-winning drives last year that really made me, I don't know if the right word here is like lean towards him over Justin Herbert, because I do know, and I'm very aware, Justin Herbert can have some game-winning drives, can be electric at the end of the games himself. The way Trevor Lawrence did it, composed in that pocket, especially again against Justin Herbert in a big game, playoff game atmosphere, just knowing that inherently I gotta ride with him right now over Justin. But it's not just that. Last season he made a huge leap, threw for 4,113 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions, which is huge because the year before that, he led the league with 17 interceptions. Having Doug Peterson come in, help Trevor Lawrence out, has been everything for his career so far. Completely different player now that that's the case. And look, we saw what Doug Peterson did with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz as well. Dougie P is the truth. Trevor Lawrence is the truth. Got them paired together right now. It's looking like a great future over there in Jacksonville, as y'all know. All right, then at number 3, we got Josh Allen. We know Josh Allen has all the talent in the world. Great arm. He can make stuff happen with his legs, crazy stuff. And again, honestly, I kind of figured that he was going to be number 2 on this list. If you asked me at some point, midway through the year, whatever, last year, the reason that he's sitting at 3 and not at 2, and Bills fans will be the first to tell you guys, there was a few games, actually, no, not just a few, that's the problem. Towards the end of the season, Josh Allen was getting a little erratic with decision making, fumbling the ball when it was absolutely just not the move, throwing interceptions at the most random times when it was absolutely not necessary, forcing things at the most crucial times. Seeing him do that was very out of character for what we've gotten used to over the past few seasons. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it scares me a little bit because honestly, not very often times do I see quarterbacks get really firm into really good habits and then kind of just go off the rails with the bad habits again that we saw him have at the beginning of his career. I'm not too concerned about it. Josh Allen still is always going to be an upper echelon quarterback, star quarterback, but it's just those decisions, those moments are killers long term for the playoff games, for the big moments in your career. We know Josh Allen is all the talent in the world. You just got to tune down the BS, get right back to where we know he can be, competing for Super Bowls, trying to take the Bills to the promised land. And for reference, here's kind of the point. Even on a quote unquote down year, he still threw for 4,283 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and he ran for 762 yards and 7 touchdowns. Even when he's playing at his worst right now, Josh Allen is an electric two-way quarterback, and he's going to give defenses fits all game long. All right, at number 2, we got Joe Burrow. I don't think Joe Burrow at 2 should be much of a surprise to anybody. He keeps getting better and better every year he's in the league. We knew when he came in the league to expect something special. Just the poise, the maturity, the leadership. Joe Burrow was the franchise guy. Last year threw for 4,475 yards, 35 touchdowns, coupled with 12 interceptions, and a 68.3% completion percentage. Just the year before this led the league with a 70.4% completion percentage. And that doesn't seem like anything that's going to stop anytime soon. And just the accuracy, the calmness, it's hard to even really explain what makes a guy like Joe Burrow so good. A guy like Joe Burrow, you're never out of the game. There is no quit. There's only will. It was the same thing when he was at LSU. Of all the guys on the list, Joe Burrow might be the least talented, but it goes to show you a great point and a great thing to remember about life. His talent isn't always everything. You got to have the X factor. And Joe Burrow certainly has the X factor. Then at number 1, I truly don't think it'll be a surprise to anybody. We got Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs just won the Super Bowl, just led the league throwing 5,250 yards, led the league throwing 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 67.1% completion percentage. He also added 358 yards rushing. The more I look at this, the only thing you need to remember, what makes Mahomes just so incredible, dominant, legendary. Dude threw for 5,250 yards this season. And it's like, did you really hear anyone talking about it? Did you really hear anybody gassing it up? I really didn't. You know the reason for that? Because we basically expect that from this man at this point. It's almost like him throwing for 5,250 yards. We don't even view as anything crazy. Mahomes is a different animal. If you can't admit it at this point, you're just a hater. It is what it is. If you want to be a Mahomes hater, that's fine. But over here at YDKB, we cannot relate. So Mahomes, he just simply is the number 1 quarterback in the league, and there's just no debate about it.